I was the best at everything. Number one at getting drafted, number one at going to Oklahoma University, number one at, so I never was really tested. I knew God in a good place. I didn't know him when things didn't go the way I wanted.
Oh, wow. Wow.
So at this time in my life, my faith is stronger than it's ever.
Wow.
And it's been tested. I would always ask God when I was in college, like, God, I want to know you this way, and I want to be able to walk into a room and people would really feel the anointing of God coming to this place. And you got to be careful what you ask God for.
Yes.
And I come into my junior year, and I'm about to get exactly what I wanted. About to get this thing called NFL. And I'm 10 games away from this dream that I wanted my whole life, right? This thing that I've been working for my whole life. My whole life is dedicated to this one game. I'm up Saturday mornings, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, 2 miles to a fire station, 2 miles back home. I'm in the park, 9:30, 10 at night, doing everything in my life surrounded the game of football. I'm sitting at home at night, I'm throwing balls up to the ceiling, and I'm catching them different type of ways, trying to see if a receiver was to check me, if I wanted to catch an intercept. Like, everything revolved around this game, and I finally get in a position in my life to where now I'm 10 games away from it. I got the paperwork that states I'm about to be an NFL draft pick. NFL on top of the paper. Inky Johnson projected top 30, automatic multi-millionaire. Now all you have to do, the hard part's over, just play the next 10 football games, Ink, you made it. And I go out in a silly game against Air Force, 2 minutes left, and I go to make a tackle that I can make with my eyes closed. And I hit this guy, and as soon as I hit him, I knew it was a problem, but I didn't think it would be this type of problem. Like, you know how when things happen, you're like, I didn't expect that, but I don't think it's gonna be anything too crazy. And when I hit him, every breath in my body left, my body goes completely limp, I fall to the ground, I blacked out, my eyes open, I'm still not, too concerned, because it's football. I told Pastor, I never thought about a career-ending injury. You have injuries within the game. When my eyes open, guys run over, Ink, let's rock, man, let's go, let's finish him off. And I'm like, I can't. Like, what do you mean you can't? You're a starting corner. Get up. You can nurse your injury after the game, man. I'm like, no, I can't. They said, what do you mean you can't? I said, I can't move. It's a shock, neck to my toes. I can't feel anything. Shock leaves. It stays in my right arm and hand. I'm like, maybe I got a bad stinger. They put me on the spine board, wheeling me off the field. Doctor says to me as he's walking beside me, I don't know how you're still alive, son. You don't have any pulse. Maneuver. Doctor say, we're gonna take you over, run a couple tests, bring you back into the room, everything will be cool. They run the test, they bring me back into the room, mom comes in, kisses, prays, son, you'll be fine. She's gonna walk out, doctors rush in, head boy says, hey man, we gotta rush him back to surgery, he's about to die. And he says to me, you ruptured a subclavian artery in your chest, you're bleeding internally. If we don't perform this surgery tonight, I guarantee you, you won't be here in the morning. From 7 years old to 20 years old boiled down to one moment. The sacrifice, the dedication, the commitment came down to one moment. And the next morning I woke up from that surgery. The NFL on my scale of life was that big. SEC championship, that big. Cornerback, that big.
I remember God just saying, do you trust me? And in that moment, man, tears begin to run down my face, and every tear meant something to me, and every tear begins to speak to God. I remember on my knees asking God that, God, I want to feel you, know you in another way, and I want to, so God said, do you trust me? And every tear made sense. Like
I'm a firm believer that God redirects and maneuvers us when he has us on a mission, right? And in the redirection, I think true courage is the ability to embrace what we don't understand. Because I know anybody can accept and embrace something that they do understand and that they know the end result. But I think true courage is when you find yourself in the midst of an opposition, piece of adversity or situation, and when you're in the midst of it, you're thinking, man, how did this happen and how did I get here? But you still have a certain level of perspective to say, even though I don't understand it, even though I don't like it, I can still trust God even though I can't trace God. Like when situations happen now, I'm like, life, what are you trying to teach me right now? Like, God, what can I extract from this situation since I don't like it and I don't understand it? I'm sure lessons and blessings, stages and phases, I'm sure it's something in it that I can extract and apply to some area of my life.
I can understand it. You know, when you haven't been tested, you just hear these words.
Right.
But when you've gone through something, when you've gone through something, and you know that, but I'm here to encourage everybody that in the dark times, we've been made to endure and endure and endure. And I think my message to all the men and all the people of God is that we need to know how to prepare for these struggles. We need to be prepared for these things to come. We've been made to endure for the night, but your joy comes in the morning.
Meaning that first time you said, man, I'm riding with Christ, let's go. That first feeling you got, like that first interaction, that first connection you got, like when you first got it. It's like when people say at the beginning, everybody is excited, everybody is on fire, but at a certain point, you hit something along the journey, and it's gonna test that level of commitment. At a certain point, you're going to hit something, it's going to test that level of faith. And my definition of commitment was always staying true to what I said I would do long after the mood that I've set it in has left. Like, am I going to stay true to my beliefs and my core and my essence of who I am as an individual, even if I get a paralyzed right arm and hand? Am I going to stay true to it? Even if my little career that I thought I was going to have disappears, am I going to stay true to it? Even if one day I'm in a football game, the thing I love to do, the thing I have been practicing my whole life, and in one moment it gets wiped out, am I going to stay true to it? Because depending upon if I'm going to stay true to it, a lot of other people's belief in their Christian journey is predicated upon that and my belief in my Christian journey. In other words, I've seen a lot of other people say, Inky, I want to give my life to Christ, not because of something that happened with me, but because of something I've seen happen to you. As long as everything I aspire to get, everything I want, everything I'm connected to, and everything I'm a part of, as long as the purpose is always greater than me, I'll be fine. In other words, as long as I'm on a mission, like dreams and all that, that's cool, but dreams is what I want to do. My mission is what God has put me on this earth to do. And so if I'm connected to my mission, God will find a way to maneuver me through certain situations to get me to my destination, to accomplish the mission that He has for my life. The only thing I ask of you, as talented, as brilliant, as powerful, as beautiful as you are, never allow life to make you forget why you started in the first place. We already know what to do when God says yes. We already know what to do when we get blessed. We already know what to do when our prayers get answered. But the question that I have for you, and it's rhetorical, what will you do when God says no?
Because destiny happens in steps. It happens in steps. People often ask me, they say, what was the one thing that catapulted your ministry into prominence? Because we always look for magic moments, but it wasn't any one magic moment. It was a series of moments. And if you look at your own life, you didn't get where you are by one single incident in your life. A series of things either moved you positively or negatively into where you are today. You aren't born a drug dealer. You're not born a stripper. You're not born hateful. You're not born vicious. You're not born jealous. A series of steps brought you into where you are, and it's going to take a series of steps to bring you out into where you need to be. If you've accomplished, that's the negative, I emphasize the negative, but on the positive side of it, if you have some positive accomplishments in your life, whatever you value, I'm not here to give you your values. I'm here to share with you whatever you value that you accomplished. You didn't get there in one step, okay? It's going to be a process, and often people who are not procedural in their thinking are very frustrated. They're very, very frustrated. A lot of people cannot deal with life because they lack the patience to go through the process to become who they want to be. They want somebody to give it to them right now. They want to take a magic pill. Anybody who gets there too quickly lacks the information and the tenacity that it takes to stay there, because if you didn't earn it, you can't own it. Because nothing happens by magic, it happens by process. And if you don't go through the process to get it, then you don't have the power to keep it. The barriers that are restricting you are within you. Somebody else was dealt the same hand you were dealt and did much more with it, and you owe it to yourself to stop lying to yourself so you can find out what it is specifically that is stopping you from having the abundant life. Is it the way you speak, the way you understand, or the way you think that is stopping you from becoming what God would have you be?
Like, I'm intrigued in life how when a person say they want something, or a person say, man, I'm gonna have this incredible, phenomenal life, and the only thing it takes is for the circumstance to change. And when the circumstance change, they forget everything that they once spoke, or everything they once spoke now means nothing to them, right? The words that they spoke about a certain situation. I'm intrigued by that, right? How a circumstance can take that away. Like, I understand this about life. In life, people don't burn out because of what they do. People burn out because life makes them forget why they do it. But when the purpose is intact, when the mission is intact, when it's about something greater than themselves, the opposition, the adversity, and the challenges are a part of the journey. When things happen to redirection, it's a part of the journey. It makes it even sweeter in the end when the purpose is greater and about something greater than you. That's why it's so easy to spot selfish people. That's why it's so easy to spot people that's just out for their personal gain. It's easy because all it takes is for something not to go the way that they thought it was going to go, and now they no longer want it. But when you find a warrior for Christ, when something doesn't go the way that they want it to go, they say, let's regroup, let's reroute, and let's get going. Let's finish what we started. The mission is different.
I want to be in the place that I am equipped with the right things to function at my highest and best capacity, and I want to be delivered from everything that's restricting me from my highest and best use. If I have to change states, if I have to change houses, if I have to change friends, if I have to change me, whatever's got to change for me to get to an expected end, I'm open to it. I'm too big to be bound by this system. I am bigger than the system. The system can't put me away. I must put it away. You have to know that you have to know this, or you'll never succeed at anything. You have to know that there is greater in you than what you have manifested to this point.
A person who has purpose in their life, they have something to go for, some meaning. For some people, it becomes a magnificent obsession. It has to be something that does something to us, something that pulls us, especially into the future. You know, there are many influences on us. One is the influence of the past. Some people are always pulled back by the past. Some people are always pulled aside by the distractions. But here's what's powerful. If you have a list of high purpose in your life, it pulls you toward the future. And the more powerful the purpose is, the stronger it pulls. It pulls you through all kinds of challenges and all kinds of difficulties. If you don't have these strong purposes for the future, it's easy to get swallowed by a bad day. It's easy to be almost annihilated by a poor month. And it's easy sometimes to almost disappear beneath the waves of a year that goes backwards if you don't have something to pull you beyond that year. So if you want something to pull you through all kinds of challenges, all kinds of difficulties and things that come at you, you got to have something on out there, beyond today, beyond next week, beyond next month, beyond this year, that pulls you into the future. And the clearer it is, the stronger it pulls. The more dynamic it is, the more it affects your life, your spirit, your heart, your soul. It also creates imagination. It gets your mind working on how to achieve that purpose. And if your mind will work, and if your heart works, and if your spirit works, and if you have good input, like good ideas, I'm telling you, there isn't anything you can't accomplish. The ability to rise above your circumstances, to rise above what happens, the petty little things, the discouraging things that would sink everyone else's ship except yours, that would cause someone else to quit early in the day, but you keep going. That kind of willingness to overcome all circumstances, whether it's the little challenges or the big challenges. If you're willing to do that, I promise you, this kind of power will work for you, and in you, the variable, it'll make a difference. Life seemingly does not wish to waste success on the unprepared. Life says, why waste a fortune on this person? They're not prepared to do the right things with it. They're not prepared to use it wisely. If a fortune was bestowed upon this unprepared person, it would probably be wasted. The people that could have been touched won't be touched. What could have been done won't be done, because this fortune will have been wasted on the unprepared person. So not only look for fortune, not only look for the promise, but prepare yourself and ask of yourself, what can I do to make myself ready? Because remember, life was designed not to give us what we want, not to give us what we need, but life was designed to give us what we deserve. Every value in life must be paid for, and those that pay are the ones that get it. It says those that give receive. Prepare yourself to be ready for fortune when it comes, to be ready for challenge when it comes, to be ready for opportunity when it comes. Opportunity comes along and passes by the person that is not well prepared. Primarily rely on yourself. Primarily say, I'm the person responsible. The image that others see you as, the image you have with other people. And it's very important how other people see you. If they don't see you as a leader, chances are they won't pay attention. If they don't see you as being in control, chances are they won't have the trust. If they don't see you as knowing where you're going, what you want to accomplish, they probably won't follow. But if people can see you, if you have the image of someone that's in charge, in control of your life, your future, your destiny, in control of the situation, if they see that, that kind of image is powerful. It helps to win the day. It attracts other people. People want to be around people that are in control, that are powerful, but they know how to use their power. Influential, but they know how to use their influence. That kind of image is important. But here's a very important image, and that is your image of yourself. The way you dress, the way you talk, the way you think, your capacity for learning, all of that is an important image that you have of yourself. That kind of self-image, that I am continually trying my best to be the best I can. Because one of the most important places you have to look is into the future, yes. You've got to look into the past, yes. You've got to look around, yes. But one of the most important places you have to look is in the mirror. You know, how I appear to other people, that's important. But how I appear to myself is the ultimate importance. That kind of image, to where you'll develop the self-confidence, you'll develop the self-reliance.
Whatever it takes to get you to try harder, read more, set your goals, and go for it. Here's the next attitude disease. Over-caution. Some people never will have much. They're too cautious. Now, you can also be too reckless, but you can also be too cautious. This is called the timid approach to life. It's all risky. The minute you were born, it got risky. If you think trying is risky, wait till they hand you the bill for not trying. If you think investing is risky, wait till you get the tab for not investing. See, it's all risky. Getting married is risky. Having children is risky. Going into business is risky. Investing your money is risky. It's all risky. Don't ask for security. Ask for adventure. Better to live 30 years full of adventure than 100 years safe in the corner. And see, it's not important how long you live. What's important is how you live. Pessimism, the deadly disease of always looking on the bad side, the problem side, the difficult side, checking all the reasons why it can't be done. The poor pessimist leads an ugly life. He doesn't try to figure out what's right. He tries to figure out what's wrong. He doesn't look for virtue. He looks for faults. And when he finds them, he's delighted. How ugly. Our lives are mostly affected by the way we think things are, not the way they are. The way we think they are affects us most. Poor thinking habits keeps most people poor. Not poor working habits. Most people work hard, but they don't think hard. The mind is like a factory, a mental factory. And whatever you think about all day long pours ingredients into this mental factory. And that's what builds the economic, social, financial fabric of your life. Stand guard at the door of your mind. And you decide what goes into your mental factory. Don't let anybody just dump anything they want to in your mental factory, because you've got to live with the results. And reach down inside of you and come up with some more of those remarkable human gifts. They're there, waiting to be utilized. And then change anything for you you want to change. And I challenge you to do that, because you can change. If you don't like how it is for you, change it. If it doesn't suit you, change it. If it doesn't please you, change it. If it isn't enough, change it. And I challenge you to do that, because you can change. See, you don't ever have to be the same again after tonight, only by choice. Major step to human progress, discipline. If there's one thing to get excited over, that's it. Get excited over your ability to make yourself do the necessary things. What could you make yourself do starting tomorrow that would change it all? No telling. Now, see, that's exciting. On any given day, you can massively change the direction of your life. Start with the little disciplines, get excited over the little disciplines, and get right on those, because those will lead to the big ones. You can't handle the big challenges in life unless you take on the little ones. Make a list of all the things you can do, get right on those, discipline yourself for those, both for the results and for the muscle and for the practice, so that when life hands you some big challenges, you'll be ready, you'll have the muscle. But see, if you don't handle the small ones, you can't take care of the big ones. So it takes self-motivation to really alter your life. And you don't want to give self-motivation away to somebody else and make it somebody else motivating you. You may not be able to do all you find out, but you should find out all you can do. See, you don't want to wind up at the end of your life and discover that you've lived only 1/10 of it. And the other 9/10 went down the drain. Not for lack of opportunity, for lack of information. Find out how things work. Now, here's the best human virtue for finding out: curiosity. Make a note of that. Curiosity. Be curious.